the first meeting of the month. And as you know, we have a 3-minute public comment after the meeting. I will do the prayer. Ask Mr. McCray to pray. Please stand. You know, as you know, chaos all over the world. So many bad things going on. Even in this country as well. You want us to put here in this chaos. I don't understand why so much chaos in these days, but we know why, because these things are supposed to happen. We have to pray we got a man who can fix all these problems that we look to him. They quit trying to fix them ourselves. So I think we want to start all the chaos in this world, in this community. Gracious Father, we come to pray with thanksgiving for all the blessed gifts you have given each and every one of us. Realize that without you, we could never accomplish anything. And Father, realize that you're the one in control. Father, I pray for this year. Give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and bring us out of this path. And be the voice for the people. I pray for these years and their families as well. I pray for everyone, some of these voice. Just you know, we pray. I just want to thank you. I just pray for this country, pray for the state, pray for the parents, pray for the community. I pray for all the youth, for the schools, for the clothes. I pray for first responders as well. I pray for continuity. I pray for peace. That's the main thing. A peace that surpasses all understanding. Let's get out of step for the people. Yes, for this care. And for the people in this country. For I also pray for every Israel. Ukraine, and just pray for them. Just to come in and solve some of these problems. Realize that we're in the church. And Father, that anything that's said in the here, it would be mine. Give you all the praise, all the glory, and Jesus, and I pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Mr. Dexter Armstead.
Present.
Mrs. Kristen Chastain.
Present.
Mr. Michael Cheatham.
Present.
Mr. Kyle Flanagan.
Present.
Mr. Jason McCray.
Present.
Mr. Keith Mills is absent. Mr. Richard Olivo.
Present.
Dr. Christy O'Quinn.
Present.
President Louis Kent.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Need a motion to approve the bill with 2 additions, please. First addition is George Turner without representation for the planning and zone, Mr. Gerald Wilson. The second one, recommend to approve contract with State of Louisiana for April Severe Storm. Those are the two. What's that for?
So moved.
Well, Mr. McCray,
Second.
second by Coach Hill. Any discussion? Any from the audience?
Read the second one.
Yes. Recommendation to approve contract with State of Louisiana for April severe storm.
Yes, that's what
So,
Any more discussion? Question from the audience? Yes, sir.
Where's this property located at?
Say it again.
Where's the property located? The property,
No
so.
problem, stone debris.
It wasn't up to city property.
We no problem, just stone debris with the state.
You're talking about the first one, went on map?
No, what he's
I
asking.
didn't quite understand what he.
I didn't understand what they were asking for.
A recommendation to approve contract with State of Louisiana for April severe storm.
But you're talking about number one.
Yeah, we're talking about B, he was talking about B.
Okay, George Turner without reservation for planning and zone, Mr. Gerald Wilson. Those are the two additions.
That was just the addition on the agenda.
We have two additions to the agenda. Agenda is public, 24 hours. We will limit them in 2 hours, 2 additional hours.
Gotcha.
Do you understand them?
Yeah, we're clueless, that's, yeah. JR, you're in the first one? About the map?
No, it was left off the agenda. So that was one of them we recommended the recommendation we made the other night, it was left
So
off.
that's all.
Recommendation to
Yeah,
deny.
we just need an amendment and add it on.
And you-
And I put his name because he brought it to my attention.
So is it still in denial or what is it?
Yes.
It's coming up.
It's
coming up.
nothing
okay,
yet, the jury
okay.
has to vote on.
Okay. We got the bill storming, and so we both, we gonna approve the contract with the state to pick up our debris. And all in favor, then?
Get a motion,
I got
second.
one, we let Mr. Tucker. All in favor?
Aye.
In opposed, motion carries. First, old business, adoption minutes from the April 15, 2024 regular law.
I read over Mr. President, I don't see any discussion, I move to accept.
Which one is Mr. Craig?
Second.
Second by Mr. Humphries. Any discussion? Question from the audience? And all in favor?
Aye.
In opposed, motion carries. Adams is not here, right?
No, sir.
Is he coming?
No, sir, he said the Capitol. I might be able to answer questions, I don't know.
Okay, discuss, take action, if deemed necessary, on housing choice policy. George Turner, Representative Roy Allen.
So Representative Adams, he was invited to come in, like Ms. Faye said, he couldn't attend. He does have, in your packets, there's a copy of a letter from him, just saying that he,
You could like to take the name, please?
Faye Talbot, I'm Representative Adams, Legislative Assistant. The only thing I can add is that Reverend Turner sent him a letter, I typed it and delivered it to y'all, and he said, Adams said, since it's being done in East Baton Rouge and Zachary's successful with it, he thought we should try it here. So he's in support.
And just be clear, this voucher is to supplement mortgages and rent from elderly people. That which is done, the fact that it's around to the state, it's coming on the research, doing the
Could someone else, could you give me just a quick overview of what Mr. Turner and Representative
Let me read.
proposing? We're bouncing around the room and I'm a little bit confused as to what was actually.
Let me read Representative Adams' letter to the record. It says, Dear Mr. Kent, in the state of Louisiana, we have over 197,000 people and 94,000 households that are benefiting from the use of Housing Choice Voucher Program. This program provides federal rental assistance by helping struggling seniors, people with disabilities, veterans, and working families keep a roof over their heads, often by helping them find units in the private market. As a member of the Louisiana House of Representatives and a resident that lives in East Feliciana Parish, I have personally seen how many families have struggled trying to make ends meet. And I realize that this program can be of great benefit to our residents that qualify for this program. Therefore, I strongly support the Housing Choice Voucher Program for the residents of East Feliciana Parish. Sincerely, Representative Roy Darrell Adams. That's what his letter
So
states.
is there a particular part of our parish that would be used for that?
Could you like to take the name, please?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Reverend George Turner. I'm from 3047 Turner Road in Elton, Louisiana. I'm here today to support the Housing Choice Voucher Program, and I'm asking that the parish think of the needs of the people and that their needs have been overlooked for the last 20 or 25 years. Now, the gentleman just raised a question in terms of what part of the parish will this program be administered in, or who qualifies for it? Well, first of all, the program is a national program. It's funded from Congress, and it comes down to the state. As of today, 52 parishes out of 64 is participating in this program. This program provides rental and homeownership assistance to veterans, senior citizens, low-income families, disabled people, homeless people, And it also provides economical development activities to the parish. It supports the small businesses here. It allows the school system to increase their population because it brings more families here. It's a win-win situation for the parish. This program does not cost the parish one dime. It pays for itself, and it also pays for someone to administrate the program. The parish is not obligated, or they are not be held liable for any part of this program because it's a federal program and it's administrated by the federal government through the state of Louisiana.
George, I'd like to ask, you've been working on different things a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from my perspective, there's a lot of growth in my area, and they're all high-end houses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, it's biracial, it's just not.
Right.
It's one side, but
Right.
you ain't gonna show it.
Right, I understand.
So those people are not putting their houses in this program. Have you identified houses that are available for that? Because I know we don't have no big projects here. And so if the program's it's got to build something for it to work, because I don't think it's that many rentals here that will accommodate people that may would need help. Now, I'm not denying that there's people that need help. But I mean, have you identified any of that?
Well, let me go back and address the first segment of your question there, of the statement. You stated about the area where you live in, and I understand that there are some areas in the parish that the homes are much higher than other areas. But I wouldn't say that no one would rent their house out because the program pays up to $2,000 a month for a 4-bedroom. Now, if someone in that community had some type of emergency or some unexpected came up and they had to rent their home, they would want to rent it to someone that can pay for it. That's a guaranteed income. Rain, snow, whatever, those incomes are coming in. Now, in terms of identifying additional properties, there are several properties here in the parish that are for sale. That's the whole point of the economical benefit of this type of program, because a property owner now can actually get funding and has a guaranteed source of revenue that will come in and pay for them to build those units, home ownership or rental units. It will pay for it. And so it's a win-win situation. And you know, I understand the value of people wanting to keep their value of their homes up, but at the same time, all of us, even myself, we are obligated to help this segment of society. I mean, we have a motto saying, "In God we trust." You know, and here we are. We have veterans that are fighting over in other countries just to make our life peaceful. I mean, they're taking care of us, and all they ask for is just a little help. And all we're trying to do is offer them a little help. Now, this particular program will bring more revenue to the economy here than just about all of your programs put together. Now, only thing that I can really see at this point, well, in the past, is that decision makers just don't quite understand it. You don't understand how this plays into the economical benefit of the parish. I mean, we got all these businesses around here. Most of them are going out of business because they don't have enough clients to come in and serve them. And the people don't have the extra money. Now here, that need is being met.
So I have a question, Mr. Turner.
Yes, sir.
Please come to the mic, please. State your name.
My name's Tom Hodes.
Come to the mic, please.
Sure, no problem. I've lived in this parish for 28 years. And I guess what I would want to know as a property owner and a long-standing parish resident is if these properties were to go up for sale, would our parish know and approve these projects, or is this a federal?
It's a federal program, not.
Right, so if I wanna sell my piece of property, build some houses that people can live in, I could do that without your approval?
Yes, yes, you can. No, okay, first of all, let me clarify that.
So,
We're-
so let me finish, and then you can clarify. And I think that's the thing we need to not lose track of, is this parish council has a responsibility to all of us.
We do.
To try to make the parish a good place to live, a place where people feel comfortable living. I worked in the developmental disability field for many, many years, okay, handicapped folks, adults. So I guess that's what we don't wanna, from my perspective, lose control of, is that I'm gonna sell my property, to the government, build some houses, and we're gonna just progress that. So I think any of these housing projects, seems to me, would have to come through the parish council and the zoning commission, and not just be an independent entity of the federal government. That's my thought. That's how I would think.
Let me clarify that, because that's misleading. Now, his concern is active and it's for real. But what we're talking about right now is you're talking about a project.
We're not talking secondary housing, secondary project.
Right, but, I mean, that's what he's saying, a project. He's using the word project. This program does, let me use this as an example. There's a project right in the back here, I don't know what the name of it, but those days are over with.
Free quick apartment.
Okay, you can't build those anymore. That's totally outdated now. So for an example, if a property owner had property and someone wanted to buy that property to build, say, a home as a rental unit for one of those families, or if he wanted to build that house and sell it, then that's between the property owner and the person that's buying the property. These type of programs have very serious consequences when you come down to fair housing and discrimination. You cannot discriminate against anyone. It has nothing to do with color. You cannot deny a person the right to buy a home. No, you can't do that. Now, if the developer, say for example, I'm gonna use myself as an example. If I was gonna come and build, say maybe 20 houses in a certain parcel of land, yes, I have to come back to the police jury, I have to get zoning approval, I have to go through the whole process. But that's with anybody, that's not just with this program, that applies to anybody. But we're talking about allowing the program to come into the parish and give the people an opportunity to make a decision as to how they would like to address it. What do they want to do? Because either way to go, you all as to what a developer or anyone, even as an individual, you have to bring your plans here and get your plans approved. You just can't come in and build because you feel like you want to build it. But all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to clarify those days of those negative so-called projects, they're over with. The federal government does not support that anymore because they found out that it doesn't work. And I don't blame you. I understand the feeling that the people in this parish have. I would not do anything to offend these people in the parish. But at the same time, we have homeless people here. We don't even have
veterans here.
We don't even have a emergency shelter here. If there's a emergency, where are the people going? The senior citizens, people that are 55 and older, is the fastest growing population in the country. And where do they go? All of them don't qualify for the nursing home. I see guys out on the golf course that are 70 years old. They want to live by themselves. And nothing wrong with that. But they have a right to that. So all I'm asking is that you all consider whatever the past has been, No, we can't do nothing about the past, but what can we do now to rewrite the wrong that was done by the past? And I ask for you all to consider helping those that cannot help themselves.
Mr. Turner, I appreciate you clarifying that, because when I asked if you could just sell it and do what you wanted, your initial response was yes. But there are rules that you have to
Yes, sir.
follow. There are guidelines and predicates that are set forth that people need to follow
Yes,
in order to get these kinds of projects.
Okay.
We have 52 parents already working this. 52 out of 64. It's a federal program. It helps the people of this parish, not just.
Right.
It's like a rent subsidy.
Yes, yes, sir.
Mr. Jordan, you have one question?
Yes, sir.
I think you addressed this in the last meeting, that, you wasn't asking, it would be, the director would be appointed by the governor, as I was assuming. That's who?
The director of the program for the
Or
parish,
federal government would appoint.
the federal government, along with the Louisiana Housing Corporation,
Okay.
those that are in charge of administering those resources, they would be the one who approve it, who that person would be, or who that entity would be. But they cannot do it without your approval as a parish. And that's all they do is.
The question is, are you putting your name in the hat for that?
No, I'm not. First of all, let me clear one thing. I don't need a job. Okay? I don't need a job. I have been blessed by the Lord, and my main concern is helping people that cannot help themselves. I'm not trying to benefit nothing for myself.
I just want to clear it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
A foster program is just a program to help. The government right now is trying to pass a program to give vouchers to kids go to private school. Listen, to help pay tuition in private school. It's a program to help, not to hurt. It's not discriminating against anyone. A voucher is something you get, you just nothing. It's simple as help. $2 here make a big difference in someone's lifetime. In the livelihood. You got a house, you can't pay the whole mortgage. They give you a voucher, that's something they can want. Come to the federal government, not through the state, not through this police bureau.
So that would be to have multifamilies in your house?
No,
No. Just asking. Okay.
so what you say that is, there's a lot of programs coming to the table. 52 families already got the program.
I make the motion to give them the vouchers, to support them the voucher program.
They will discuss. Question from the audience.
I just want to know where in the parish these vouchers are going to be handed out.
On the whole thing, it's no specific area. Please continue.
My name's Debbie Parker. I live on Felix Lee Road in Ethel. Ethel isn't even incorporated. And I don't see, any need for that in Ethel. Now, Wilson, Clinton, Jackson, Norwood are bigger communities. And I just don't see where this would help anyone in Ethel.
All we ask is get the program coming to the parish. When the need comes, people will apply, after the need is there. We can't stipulate where it's going, where it don't go. You just let the program come to the whole parish, and let the people decide. There's nothing cost the parish on one thing. It's a federal program that helps.
All right, it's just a matter of trust. I just,
Trust.
I think you may be confusing two things. You're thinking about the map and the planning and zoning that was in the Ethel area. And this is different than that. This is parish-wide. That was the map that was denied at the planning and zoning, so.
okay, so if these vouchers are handed out in our area,
Just apply for it, they'll just hand it out.
It's just passing out.
If you poor, old elderly, can't afford to pay your rent or your mortgage, give us a 5-year voucher, help them make your mortgage or your rent. That's how it is, it's a help program.
But you also have to have homeowners
Yeah.
on this program as well.
Right.
Like, you as a homeowner, if you move, you want to downsize or upsize or whatever, you want to be a part of this program, you can rent your house out.
Right.
So
You have
it's two
supplemental.
sides to it.
All right, thank you for clarifying.
Any more questions? Okay, that motion is second, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
I had no,
Two no. Okay, four.
don't say we don't want to vote for.
Let's
That's
move on.
not the thing to say,
Let's
you
move
just
on.
speak.
Let's move on.
It's not about that.
It's not that one. It's a benefit to whole parents, it's a whole.
I've had my constituents calling me all week, and this is, that everybody has talked to me, and I'm their voice. So, I'm in support of the team.
Well, I think, I'm just not voting because it's issues with both sides. I don't ever want anybody to tell me that I ain't help people. I'm broke man because I help people, I give all
Help people all the time.
you know, so, but I think the problem here in Eastville, since I've been around, things are not explained. Now, George is doing a good job about explaining, but I understand, you got to have a house that you want to put up, that you want to lease to the government, to let somebody live in it or assist them and pay their rent. What I know people that does that in Baton Rouge. And I just don't think it's explained to the public exactly what this is.
They don't understand.
He just, now, we going on George's word, Mr. Turner's word, that there's no housing project. That's what everybody's scared of. As, we're not New York City, we're Mayberry.
We got more.
You know, we're not New Orleans, you know, and we're not accustomed to those things, you know. So you can say what you want to on both sides of the aisle, it scares everybody. So now, you know, how we change that, how we explain it to people to make them understand. I mean, I understand it. If I want to lease my house out and let somebody live in it, the government will pay me the rent or the lease, whatever you want to call it. And I understand.
Help the
that
people pay, help the person pay, something
Yeah.
like that.
So, anyway, I just, I'm not, I'm on the fence, you know, so you might want to, you know, call for another vote to, get clarified.
The voice man, the two expensive, $2, and you not voting.
I'm not voting.
Roll call vote, because we're.
Yeah.
Two no's and one abstain. Yes, sir.
My question is,
Come on, Mike, you state your name.
excuse me, my name is George Richard. My question is, I understand this voucher thing and stuff, does this come also with a rezoning for the government to come in and build subsidized housing?
No.
So it's just strictly for a voucher to have
It's already-
appropriated funds to do what you want, for the people that are.
If you want to rent your house out to somebody who's getting government subsistence, you can do that and get top dollar.
Correct.
That's what it amounts to.
Right.
Not to get no project in and, you know.
So it's strictly a voucher thing for that. Okay. Yeah, I understand. Fully.
Yes, yes.
Candace Farner's own thing. I thought last time they said that the properties are for sale, that the government, I guess, or whoever would go in and build homes.
No, ma'am.
No, that's what they said last time.
No, ma'am.
So what is it about the vacant property then?
That's the better, right, we'll get the property.
Okay, that's what
The
we
government
discussed last time.
the
Was it
government
about
buying no
vacant
property.
properties?
No, the government buying no property.
Developer will come, this is for individual owners.
Individual owner.
Now, let me give you,
Let me go, we go, we take it over. So government is buying property, building project.
let me give you
a prime example how people misinterpret something. Now, and this is not being negative against the Parkers, because they're my neighbors, they are very good people. But right across their street was the first affordable housing built in the parish. Right across the street from your house. And that house, not trying to brag on it, but it's an all brick house. It was worth over $250,000, and program sold that house to a low-income family for $175,000. Brick, tile floor, everything. The federal government goes up to like about $325,000 for home ownership. The rates have changed, the income limits have changed, and it's to eliminate any type of a negative look. You cannot build no cheap houses no more. They hold you to the same standards. That's why you have a building code, to hold people to the same standards. You can't come in by and build no separate low-income houses. Those days are over with. All that stuff is over with. This is the future now. But anyway, I just want to clarify that.
One more quick question. That's it. So if I own a piece of property, hypothetically, it's 100 acres, and I want to go build 20 homes, I got the money to go build homes. And I decide that, hey, I'm gonna rent one to Kristen and one to Kyle, and then the other 18, I'm gonna put up for government approval for people to come in and use those houses.
Okay, well, now can I explain? This is not about property, it's about vouchers. I don't care who owns the home or who builds the home or whatever. If you want to rent 18 homes, you have to find 18 people that's going to apply for this program. If you're renting for 4-bedroom houses for $2,500 a month, the government's going to pay for $2,000 of that, I think is the cap for, if I remember right. $2,000 for that. The person that's renting the house is going to come up with the other $500. The other $500 to make it $2,500 rent.
Is there a limit on the number of these vouchers per this parish that can be issued out?
I doubt there's a number because it is based on income. The vouchers are issued to the individual, not to a landowner, not per house.
It's nothing but a voucher. That's all it is.
It is a voucher for, Mr. Mac Herrick wants to build a new house and get some government help for it. He can apply for it based on income, and if he qualifies for the voucher, the government will tell them what part of his mortgage they're gonna pay. That's it. And what part. And it's an individual based thing. It has nothing to do with property or houses. If he's renting a house from you, circumstance
So
your
it has
house.
to do with property
Could be
and
renting it from
houses.
Glenn, could be renting it from anybody, but it's the person that gets the voucher, not the house, not the property, not the apartment or anything else.
So, to take that,
The easiest way to explain this, I think, is that if you have land and you want to develop, you start at planning and zoning.
Right.
That has to start at that time. You cannot do anything, and I'm sure the artist estate, you can have 1,000 acres, and you can only put one house on it. Any more houses you want to put on, you have to come before planning and zoning to start the process. So that should simplify everything there. You cannot develop property without starting at planning and zoning. You cannot. Zero.
and this, from what you're saying, this may really help the person that owns the house because he gets a guaranteed renter where he can be
He's gonna
the
get 80, if he's got
landlord.
25% rent on a 4-bedroom house, he's gonna get 80%.
So he can be the
Period.
landlord of the house, and it's supplied by the federal government. How is that different than Section 8?
It's the voucher comes to the individual renting the house. It's not, has nothing to do with it. The only time you're gonna get somebody that's gonna be multimillionaire come in here and build 20 spec houses for rent, then it's not going, it's gonna be 20 individual homes on individual lots, and it's gonna be 20 individual contracts if they all get picked up for this voucher program. If they don't get picked up, he's gonna be renting regardless.
And you gotta qualify.
It's individual based, income based.
And it is, but also, you can go online, I can't remember where it used to be, somewhere in government housing, and Mr. Turner helped me. You can go on and see everybody that has government assistance in a parish. You can go online and look. Bro, you can pull it up and it shows everybody that's getting governmental subsidies or rent on the website.
Just to add, and I hope we can close this out, and then move on. She raised a question about Section 8. Section 8 applies to what they call project-based Section 8. Like, for example, this development back here, they use Section 8 for the build that. So the building has Section 8. Housing choice vouchers is totally different. Totally different. But anyway.
Yeah, two extensions, too low, no consent. So we'll take it and think of, get, look at it like a tax. One of them, take it,
For me, I mean, we can't make a decision about your term.
Motion to table number 3. Second.
All in favor? And opposed? Motion carries. Mr. President, approve with the bid payment.
That is,
Voting precinct.
yes, that's the one that Kristen asked me to put on there. We are having a hard time finding any information on this piece of property. We've been to the clerk of court, the appraiser, Mr. Marty Miller, has been there. I went this morning. I got all kinds of documents. I talked to someone that was part of the fire station, at the time. It's, y'all had to spend some money. You had to hire a title attorney to do the research on it. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about now, that this property that they just let y'all use as long as you use it as a voting precinct. But we can't even find a document where that was done. So, I mean, y'all would need to hire a title attorney. Where we at? I'm not sure where they are. Maybe we can look in here.
Saying what, that is our property?
No, let's go back. There's a folder here that talks about all voting precincts. It tells every one of them who donated it, how long, what it was used for, what all the stipulations for. I know the Sageleys had one, Phelps had one. I don't know who did it out in Ethel, right in my neck of the woods, but those two with Beach Grove Road is the Phelps, and the Sageleys were 8th Ward once upon a time. And, you know, the others like block buildings. The one on 67 South, that's in there too. And I don't remember whose land that was.
So Sam was saying to do a quick claim, is that not possible?
We'll look tomorrow and see what these records are, but, to me, there's no quick way to do this, we don't have a record on it. This is part of the, Sandy, Lantern piece at the time. So, I mean, this, got a map where it's kind of cut out, it looks like it is, looks like that's our, this is either part of the fire station. We can look tomorrow, and we should not.
She's looking through it. I want to think about the property instead of something.
You just want to table that then?
Yes, Chief. Let's look at table, please.
So moved. Second.
We'll discuss. All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Next on the new bill, adopt resolution approving the holding of the election in East Feliciana Parish communication against testing. It's coming up from the new 911.
This is a renewal.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Post discussion?
When's the election?
November, for the following election.
Clarify one more time.
It's a renewal for nine
Because it's
years.
not on here for renewal. I'm saying.
It says tax renewal.
Okay, well, I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
But
tax
that's
renewal.
not.
Another for the
Okay,
tax renewal. So we can pay for the tax renewal. Any discussion? Motion is second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. On the new business, recommendation to approve contract with State of Louisiana for April for their starting. We sign contract with the state, not free. Motion,
I'll make that motion.
Dr. Cole.
Second.
Everybody, Mr. Clerk, you want to discuss? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. And so, just a minute, I don't have anything. Personnel committee.
I don't have anything.
Quickly, finance committee, Mr. Coffey.
We have a number of items, beginning with A, approve monthly invoices.
Motion,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item B, recommendation to approve an additional $10,000 for council on aging for operations, total of $25,000 annually from the general fund.
And as you know, we get counted 15,000 a year, but we've done it for years and years. So the extra addition.
I'll make that motion.
It's been 10,000, 25,000. Which one, Mr. Oliver? Hosted here, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item C,
Recommendation to approve salary increase request from Judge Jones for 2 employees to be reimbursed to the police jury, all except increase in withholdings.
What is this for? What is this for?
For the judge,
This is for clerk.
for the clerk.
Yeah.
Increase.
Two clerks.
This one, what, increase?
File here in the courthouse and all the stuff that the judge does.
The judge has to look
She has a
at it.
letter in here.
Let me look at it.
I think it's like, less than $300 a month.
It's not a lot.
We don't know.
Just pay it with.
This was, what is that amount? I hadn't looked at it.
They're paying, we just paying them with
All you're paying is benefits.
It's one in like 250. So she's
It's
asking
not much.
$4,000 increase in him,
that's there.
from 5,000 from this parish.
The five from this
Yeah,
parish.
They'll reimburse the parish for the 5,000, everything except withholding. So,
It's $353 a month. It's just what we're.
You can do what you think, stuff like the whole, this is the whole. Yeah.
They reimbursed by everything, but
It's a dual paragraph, half from West Virginia, half from. Motion?
Motion.
Second. You're coming back? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, recommendation to approve $25,000 task order with HGA for April severe storm.
I'll make that motion.
Is that just with their invoices for their services?
Motion?
Not by me, no.
I make a motion. I'll second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. One opposed. Vote against it, right?
I just didn't vote, but I.
Yes, sir. You listen, sir.
I'll vote for it.
You listen. Say it again.
I said I'll vote for it.
Okay. All in-
Mr. King, before we move on real quickly, just clarify that that is for debris removed from the storm, so the auditors know that HCS is picking up,
This is a company that you pay to monitor it for you. All the bills are
They're paying them.
That's right. So, go ahead, Ms. Smith.
They take care of making sure that our reimbursements from the government is correct, that our paperwork is filed, that we have the right paperwork, that it's in the right format, that when we apply for stuff, like they were up here one day, taking pictures of all the damages, all the debris, all the, I mean, there's just, seems to be a lot of things that I didn't even know.
Well, they come in and what they did, they came in and they mapped everything out for the company to come in, they went out, took pictures, GPS, and everything, and all of that.
You got two weeks
They
to
also
go.
paid for all the paperwork.
That's right.
Pick up the debris, burn it, you want to discuss?
Just to make sure you get all your money back.
Get out, get out.
So in the past, one of the past, you're not gonna.
You want to discuss? All in favor? And opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Booth?
Yes, one more item, recommendation to accept proposal from Wright Construction Group at a rate of $5.25 a cubic yard, funded by solid waste to pick up debris at vegetative waste site, haul, burn, and dispose of ashes. Based on the estimate of 12,645 cubic yards, that would give a grand total, by my calculations, of $66,386.25.
Okay, if I'm not correct in saying that, we're gonna get reimbursed 75%.
Not that. No, this is the stuff that's been out there for years. I think this is-
Okay, this is not storm stuff.
This is pre-storm debris that has been accumulated at that site.
We're gonna clean that, we're gonna clean that area.
Oh, yeah. In the past, we grinded it up, but this time we're gonna burn it.
There's a lot of stuff out there, if we have a hurricane, we don't have a lot of them.
But in the past, we grinded it up.
And you got a good price because it's here already.
Yes, sir.
Now, in the past, I know we had a huge pile out there. I've been out there lately, but the whole side to the left of the big side was there, and that was ground for $10,000. And all we had to do was spread the grindings when it was over and done with. 66 sounds like a big number compared to 10, and it hadn't been that long ago. I mean, that might not be the most economical way to get rid of that. $10,000, a lot less. I mean, yeah, I don't care if it doubles in the years it's been done due to inflation, that'd still be 20, and that's a whole lot better than 66.
Back then was the ashes hauled off.
No, it wasn't ashes, they ground it all up, and if it would have been done by a different company, and they took all the metal out when they were grinding, they would have hauled it all off, and it wouldn't have cost us hardly anything, because they were selling the mulch. And if you do it right ahead of time, you can get that same deal now, because there's people always looking, there's factories, chemical plants and everything else that burn chips.
What storm debris are you referring to? Which storm would that have been?
No, that wouldn't have been, it wasn't storm debris, that was our normal collection stuff.
Normal
Because we had that whole side of the hill over there to the left was nothing but stacks and stacks of logs. A grinding company came in there and ground it for $10,000 and left us a pile of chips, and all we did was go out there with a dozer and spread it on all over, because you can't.
I'm calling more than $10,000.
Was there bids put into
It
this?
wasn't more than $10,000.
This question has a question.
When we were proposed this was from the same group that was already handling the previous, or the storm debris, not
So we
previous.
would get some bids to see maybe how it falls?
I don't have a problem with that at all, no.
I don't either, but time is of the essence, because hurricane season is coming.
Right,
And
if
that-
you get one that's
If
gonna,
you get a
I
hurricane,
think
we have no
$40,000,
more
then.
agree.
I call it all.
That's true.
Call it what it is, we just table it now. I thought more than $10,000 was the call.
I remember the last storm debris from 2 to 3 years ago. It was over 100 by the time they mobilized, set up, ground, hauled off site, disposed of. It was about 100 and a quarter, if I remember correctly. I
But
don't
I'm not
have,
saying this isn't a good price, I'm just,
No,
just to know.
I don't disagree. I'm just making the point of 10,000, I don't think you can get the equipment short for 10,000.
We'll look tomorrow.
what it cost last time.
Please do, I appreciate that very much. So, motion to table that.
Motion to table item number E.
All in favor?
To the next meeting, so we'll
Please.
get right on it.
Yes.
Get it taken care of.
Yes, for the next meeting.
Just gonna move it. We will discuss, like, more than seven. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, move on. Public Works and Equipment, Mr. Jason McCray.
I don't have anything to say.
Building Property, Mr. Richard Oliver. U.S. State Map. Is that right?
The only thing that I was on here is to discuss take action on approval to bid the whole school on Bank Street. Y'all declared a surplus 2 weeks ago. So just needs to determine what y'all want to do with it. Do you want to try to salvage the wood out of it and get a company to come out and look at that? Get some quotes on what they willing to give us or what, or just tear it down. You got to get bids on it too. So, I mean,
Just the building, not the land.
Right. just need some direction on which way y'all want to go.
What's the pleasure of the jury?
I'm with Mr. McCray. As much as I'd love to try to salvage it, I think it'd be some time, labor intensive. I don't know that you could find someone that.
We just have to accept bids on salvage, and somebody else,
There's a lot of records in there, records in there.
I can give Jeff tomorrow and see if he can.
Well, that was my question, is before you put it up to bids for anything, better make sure it's empty, because I know last I knew there was a bunch of furniture and a whole lot of
Court records in there.
court records, assessor records, clerk of court records, there's piles up there. Literally piles.
So do you have a place to put all that?
I think we're gonna talk to Frosty when he comes back, and maybe that building over there next to the restaurant, and just see whether it's secure or not. But you got to be a secure building. But you got to-
There's a lot of old records in there. If you go ahead and get the salary, take it down, Mr. Alvarez, we bid for it. We just clean it up or do anything. Okay, you want anything else? Treasury report? Treasury report? You report? Treasury report? We treasury.
Got a finance committee meeting, and, hopefully we can get a budget meeting scheduled here soon. So, we can
I would like to schedule, some kind of workshop with you all about this budget. I mean, I think everybody needs to be involved in this. That's just my opinion. Because it's gonna take some input from you all, and I'd rather do it all at one time without you all in the room. Bring the
You're gonna
supervisor.
do with them call a special meeting. That's all we
We'll
do.
do a workshop. I mean, I guess y'all can do workshops where you just can't vote, but you can discuss whatever's on that, agenda. And it's still an open meeting, so anybody.
Get them to the public, right?
Yeah, but it's, you can't vote.
You take no action.
It's just an informational meeting
So
where
where we go to that
you all,
computer.
yes, and you all can look at the budget and see exactly where we are. I think it's very important that you all look at it right now.
Just each jury see what they're available.
Yeah.
Still needs to be advertised.
Yeah, it's a regular meeting, you just can't vote. And there's no input from the audience. It's strictly an information meeting for you all.
Anything else? Homeland Security, Mr. Lewis out of town. Commission board report. Plain law. First one is George Sterling.
As I said earlier, this map was just, it was reviewed at planning and zoning. It didn't meet the requirements of the ordinance, so it was recommended to disapprove the map, and it was just left off the agenda. Along the shore of it.
Mr. Chairman, on behalf of my map, I'm not disagreeing with the grounds in which the planning and zoning used to disapprove my map. What I did ask for at that meeting was a conditional approval, but planning and zoning told me they could not provide me with that. So I'm here tonight to ask for a 30-day extension to allow me to make the corrections that I need and resubmit my map.
What is the correction that need to be made?
The entrance of the property. There was a concern about the entrance of the property on Turner Road, but I told them, I don't have to come in on Turner Road. I can come in on Phillips Lee Road.
But then you go back to planning and zoning if you make any changes?
Yes, yes.
That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying.
Yes.
You don't need a 30-day extension to go back to planning and zoning, do you, Mr.?
It's that they go for planning and zoning.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is,
He doesn't need our approval to go bring.
yeah, you don't need our approval to go back to planning and zoning, you just need to do
No,
that.
but if planning and zoning told me they could not grant me, a conditional approval,
What is your conditional approval?
just allow me time to make the corrections I need to make.
Just go
You
do
can go back and do it again. You can go back to the next meeting. It has something to do with us as planning and zoning. Has to approve that before we can do anything.
Well,
I think they've done it before, they will give approval that's going to be making the changes.
okay, so I don't wanna go through the whole process again.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
If you go back to planning and zoning, you gotta start over. If you don't get approval, and if you change your entrance from Turner Road to Felix Lee, I don't know whether that's a major change or a minor change in y'all's world. You know, I mean, in most planning and zoning world, if you have a major change in what you're gonna do, it has to go all the way back. And there again, I don't know about planning and zoning up here, but in some places, planning and zoning.
I vote
if
to
you do
let planning and
change-
zoning make that decision.
I second it.
Well,
Why did they deny you if you can't come back and forth?
well, there was some, okay, let me go back from the beginning, give you a in-depth, on the situation. The property we're speaking of, been in my family since, 1940s. And the families across the street, they bought their properties, I think, in the 1900s. I mean, not 19, like in 1990 something, okay? Now, what they're saying is that when they bought their property, the property included Turner Road and some footage across the street from Turner Road. But my family had that since the 70s, since the 1940s, it's been fenced in and everything, okay? But, which is true, they do have some property across the street, but it doesn't come up to our property line. So what they're saying is because they have that footage, I can't enter none of my property on that street. Now, there are families that is located in the same area, they have interest to their property. Off Turner Road. But, to be honest with you, I'm tired of going back, all this arguing about all this stuff, you know, that's what I'm saying. I don't disagree with what the ground that they are saying, but allow me to make the corrections that I need to make. That's all I'm saying.
Make it come back and planning and zoning.
Let me make a suggestion, because I've talked to Jeff about this. This is gonna be a civil suit between landowner and landowner. You all want to stay out of it, I promise you. You do not want to get involved.
I make a motion to go back to planning and zoning if anything.
I second it.
Go back to planning and zoning.
Okay, so that means that you all not gonna make a motion tonight to deny my map?
I'm making a motion to get.
Then why would you go back to planning?
Oh, okay, good, that's good enough. I appreciate it, thanks a lot.
We'll let the court decide after that.
The issue is, we only can do 4 lots on a servitude. The way this map is drawn, there's 7 lots on the servitude. That makes it non-compliant with the ordinance. This map can't be fixed unless he cuts it down by 3 lots. This map needs to be redone. He can cut a new map, divide his property up, and bring it back to planning and zoning anytime he wants to, but it has to comply with the ordinance. This map should be disapproved. End of that map. That map's gone. What he does with that property and how he gets it cut to make 4 lots on a servitude only, that's his decision.
Not allowed to not do it. It's his
That's
decision.
right, but this map that has 7 lots on a servitude needs to be killed.
So do we need to make a motion?
That's why it was recommended to deny this map with 7 lots on servitude.
I make a motion to deny.
Okay, excuse
I'll
me,
second.
excuse me, let's tell you, let me a good lawyer, let me cool.
Okay, wait a minute, let me, this is kind of misleading, because JR is right about what he's saying, but he's overlooking something. You have a street here, and you have a servitude here. You cannot count the first house that's facing Phillips Lee Road, because the servitude is here. You can only count the houses that's on the servitude.
That's what I'm counting. You have 10 lots, no, I'm sorry, 7, you have 9 lots total on that servitude. 1 lot that's not yours is already, has a different approved map from time past. On that servitude right now, there's 2 on Felix Lee
We can start it,
and 7 behind it.
take the court.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go back to,
My
I'm gonna go back
recommendation is
to,
whatever y'all do is fine. Stay out
We are,
on the
let's let the court
servitude.
decide.
And you cannot, I don't see how you can subdivide this lot if you're trying to use Turner Road as an access point.
I'm not using Turner Road as an access point. If you follow me on Phillips Lee Road, Turner Road go up to Phillips Lee. Okay, so I can have an interest on Phillips Lee. So it doesn't,
But you only have 4 lots in that servitude.
no, I'm not talking about the servitude.
Okay,
I'm not-
you need to get a map then, that's right.
You need to go back to
Start with,
planning.
you need to go back to planning.
Okay, just let me go back to planning.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
So we are denying this map.
Yes.
I make a motion to deny this map. I second.
Roll call vote. Roll call, please.
Deny.
You wanna do all of them?
No, just let them approve. Just
Just the one we amended.
the one. The one that was not, that's the one. George Turner was not.
Mr. Dexter Armstead,
Yes.
Mrs. Kristen Chastain,
Yes, to deny.
Mr. Michael Cheatham,
Yes.
Mr. Kyle Flanagan,
Yes.
Mr. Jason McCray,
Yes.
Mr. Keith Mills is absent. Mr. Richard Oliver,
Yes.
Dr. Chrissy O'Quinn,
Yes, to deny.
President Louis Kent.
Yes.
And that's to accept the recommendation of planning and zoning,
Right.
which was the agenda item.
But you go back and come back to planning. But you know, the recommendation to approve B through A through,
Hey,
A through. So,
Second.
roll call vote.
Mr. Dexter Armstead,
Yes.
Mrs. Kristen Chastain,
Yes.
Mr. Michael Cheatham,
Yes.
Mr. Kyle Flanagan,
Yes.
Mr. Jason McCray,
Yes.
Mr. Keith Mills is absent. Mr. Richard Oliver,
yes.
Dr. Chrissy O'Quinn,
Yes.
President Louis Kent.
Yes, we are. If you just want to plan it out, let's move on. Chamber of Commerce.
I don't have much, we have a lot going on, I don't have much. The chamber met maybe 2 weeks ago and awarded 3 scholarships, one to East Feliciana High, Sylvan, and the other to the charter school. So we will be,
attending the graduation or baccalaureate. Yes, and the other schools will present those. We're also working on lunch and learns and some other things for this for the remainder of the year. That's it, we'll meet on Thursday, next Thursday.
Thank you, sir. Public comment.
I want to say something, Mr. Kent.
Please.
I'd like to give Mr. David and bring the ag exemption on the livestock back around for putting that for the public when you get an opportunity.
Okay.
So we can get that advertised. Thank you.
Any more public comment?
Thank you, but I'm just getting a lot of questions for people for the timeline for the storm debris pickup. Do we,
Don't see that if we just get it, we will get it.
14 days from when?
Monday.
Gotcha.
If we skip it, we'll apply for a state.
Public comments?
Yes, ma'am.
Debbie Kemp, I'm just here to inform y'all that Clinton turns 200 years old this year. And there's a group trying to plan a party, so keep your eyes and ears open. That we're gonna be looking for volunteers. I'm just a worker bee, so I can't tell you everything that's going on. But like I said, right now they're shooting for something in October. I just want people to know that it's coming up.
State your name, please.
Bill Parks. I'd like to know if y'all made plans to spray road sides.
No, sir.
I'd like them to come in, if y'all do, please say get someone who sprays to kill weeds only and not the grass. Because when the road's bad enough anyhow, and when you spray it to kill it down to the dirt, the road's even worse.
Exactly.
And as far as I'm concerned, you don't even need to equip it to get so these waist high. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Any more public comment?
Kirk Johnson. I'm Johnson Ward, Bluff Creek, close to the Head Start School. I appreciate taking a few minutes to discuss with you an issue that has become much more personal to me and we all live amongst, and that's the heat and the dead trees that are a result of that from last year. I have several dead trees along my property. I know most of us do. They're within 30, 35 feet of the center line of the road. It's a real issue. I say that because March 15th, I lost my wife because of it. She was killed, a tree falling on top of her down on Greenwood Street Road. Yes, sir. And it's very life-changing. I don't want that to happen to anyone else. No way do I want that to happen to anyone else. I want to share some more information. I know monies are short. I want everyone to be aware of it. We tend not to think about those silent behemoths standing there and we drive past. And somehow, some way, a freaky act of nature, my wife was killed because of it. But I've talked to DOTD. In fact, I work for DOTD. And at first they weren't too interested, but I have also talked with DEMCO, and I think DEMCO and DOTD are working together to try to get funding from FEMA to try to take care of some of these trees.
If you take a letter of support from you, we will do anything we can to help, I promise you.
Yeah.
We can help, we need to help.
You know, right now my world is upside down. I got money every which direction, and the expense of taking those trees down that are really close to the property is something I think everyone is feeling. One other thing from DEMCO, just to give you some idea of the size of the problem, and that is DEMCO told me that just in their area alone, they've identified close to 14,000 trees.
It look like he did it, I'm burnt up, old pines, all
Yes.
kinds of trees.
Yes.
Confused.
Right. Unfortunately, my wife wasn't the same story as the gentleman who worked for Demco over in St. Francisville. Y'all might have saw that picture. The truck was crushed. And it's something that I've talked to Kyle about, and whatever we can do. I'm not looking for a free ride or anything, but I'm looking to try to save people's lives, because earlier y'all were talking about hurricanes and things like that. That's all it takes is a little bit of wind, and that tree's gonna come down. So I really want y'all to be aware of it and be concerned about it, and whatever we can do, I think it'd be beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you. I have all condolences from you. It was public comment. If not, we can vote to it.
Second.
All in favor?
Spoke to you on the phone.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Really? Well, St. Gabriel is kind of funny, but the little younger lady that her daddy was.